Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Jamela Upshaw. I'm a very proud member of Broad Street Church of Christ. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Ladies Empowerment Hour. This week, we'll be discussing, do we have the same attitude that Jesus Christ had? I'll be coming out of Philippians 2, verses 1 through 5. I hope this message motivates and encourages all of us to become better Christians. And if we're not Christians already, I hope it motivates us to want to become Christians. Let's dive right in. If you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if any comfort from his love, if any fellowship with the Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and purpose. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. Your attitude should be the same, that of Jesus Christ. Okay, what do we have here? Paul is now in prison in Rome, and he wrote this letter to the church at Philippi. He is encouraging them and he's thanking them for what they have done for him. And he's letting us know with something we can learn from it as well, regardless of where we at in our lives, wherever situation we are in or whatever comes up in our life, we still have to give the praises and glory to God. Paul is in prison at this time, but yet he took time out to write a thank you letter and to show gratitude to the people who are helping him while he's in prison. Never think because of where you're at in life that God can't use you. God can use anybody that he wants to do his will. You don't have to have a certain degree. You don't have to have education. You don't really know how to speak well. He can use anybody to do his will, regardless of what the street committee may say. God can use any of us. And yet, he is encouraging others while he's locked down. Now, some of us are locked down in our minds. We may not be physically locked down, like actually in prison, but our minds were locked down. For whatever reason, we can't get over a certain hurt that happened to us in our past. So we can't serve God like we want to, because yet we're replaying the hurt that happened maybe 20 years ago, 5 years ago. We just can't let it go. And that can separate us from God. We can't give ourselves completely to God if we're still holding on to grudges, if we're still not loving like we should, if we're still bike biting, if we're still, whatever we're doing, we can't do it fully if we haven't completely submitted ourselves to God. We have to be humble. We have to humble ourselves. Life will humble you. Life will definitely humble you. And God can use any of us to get his word across. Be of good cheer. Whatever we do, let us not do it for the praises of this world. Let us not do it. Let it be pure. Whatever you do, let it be pure from the heart, regardless of what the street committee may say. Let it be pure. And let us serve God with all our might, with all our hearts, not looking for praises from this world. In due time, if we need to get recognized, God will do it in his timing. God will do it. Let us not live to please man. Let us live to please Christ. Let us have the attitude that Jesus Christ. What kind of attitude do we have? Do we have a bad attitude? Do we have a negative attitude? Do we have a complaining attitude? Do we have a, oh, woe is me attitude? Do we have a blame game attitude? It's always somebody else's fault. It's never my fault. No way. It's always somebody else's fault. What kind of attitude do we have? Let us be grateful for the things that God has done in our lives. Let us be excited to serve God. Let us tell the world about how God has been good to us, not particularly about the church you attend. Mm-mm. Not about Broad Street. It's about what God has done for me in my life and the changes that He's doing in my life. We can all learn from this. One, Paul is in prison, but yet he still can write a letter to the church at Philippi to encourage them to continue to be steadfast in their faith, to continue to serve God, regardless of what. That's how we need to be. If you're at a congregation and your preacher has a vision for that congregation, support him. Support him. He can't do it by himself. Support him. If you're at a congregation and you don't like the minister, or for whatever reason you're not involved at that congregation, maybe you're at the wrong place. Maybe you should seek another congregation. Don't be the dead spirit in a congregation that can hold a congregation back or that fights against the leadership and whatever they do. Let us be encouraging to one another. Let us help one another. If you don't want to be there, don't be there. Go elsewhere. Trust and believe God does not need a negative spirit while He's trying to upbuild the kingdom. Your minister at your congregation don't need that. Let us be encouraged. Let us help. Regardless of what we have going on, we all have limitations. Everybody can't do everything. That's fine. Whatever you can do, do it. Send thank you cards out. Send encouragement letters out. Get stamps. Whatever you can do, do it. God don't need to hear our limitations. He already knows them. Let us be a part of building God's kingdom. Let us be a part in inviting people to come meet our God. God can change anybody. He can. God can change and He can use anybody that He wants. And He can use us as He see fit. Now, of course, none of us want to go to prison. None of us want to go to jail. But sometimes God has to send us places to get our attention, to serve Him. And in the end, He'll get the glory. Never take praises for what God's doing in your life. Don't be vain. Don't be selfish. Whatever you do, do with all your might and give the glory to God. It's nobody but God that's been working on me, working on me, working on Jamela. It's an everyday process. I do a daily reflection of myself. God, use me how you see fit. Please bridle my tongue. Bridle my tongue, God. This world is not my home. Let me keep that in mind when things don't go that way. Let me keep that in mind when customers may talk to me crazy. Let me keep that in mind when anything goes disarray. Jamela, this world is not your home. I'm just passing through. And everything that I do, I want God to be proud of. I want to hear Him say, job well done. I don't want to hear Him say, depart from me, I never knew you. There are degrees of torture in hell. Degrees of torture in hell. It's not just hell, it's not just you burning up. Oh no, no sir, no ma'am. It's degrees of torture, and that's not a place I want to be. I don't want to go there. Nope. So whatever I need to do on this side, God, please allow me to do it. Allow me to do it. Allow people to see the God in me and not myself. And we have to be like-minded. We have to encourage one another. Let us be kind to one another. I can't stress that enough. Let us be kind to one another. Words hurt. People may not praise like you do. That's okay. People may not praise or pray like you do. That's okay. We're all different. God created us all unique and differently, and we're all wonderfully made. So let us be an encouragement for one another. We never know what people are dealing with. We never know what demons they're thinking about mentally. How is your mental health? How is our mental health? We have to be mindful on how we treat others. We have to be mindful on how we speak to one another. Speaking to people is free. It don't cost you a thing. Kindness is free. By the grace of God, it could be us that's homeless. By the grace of God, it could be us without a job or without a vehicle. Whatever it could be us. And we can lose everything we have in a moment. A house fire, lost everything. We can be, that can be us. Let us be considerate. Let us let God use us as He sees fit. Let us continue to encourage one another as we're going through our storm. Our storm does not mean we get to take a break from God's work. We still have to do God's work in spite of. We still have to encourage our brother and sister in spite of what we're going through. Let us lean on to God, not our own understanding. We'll fail every time. Okay, my good people? Once again, my name is Jamela Upshaw, very proud member of Broad Street Church of Christ. Until next time, I see you guys later. Bye-bye.